There are always 3 speeches for every one you actually gave. The one you practiced, the one you gave, and the one you wish you gave. By Dale Carnegie.
The art of public speaking. Welcome to public speaking. Hi friends. Today we are going to talk about public speaking. Indeed, every day in our lives, we keep speaking with somebody or the other. So, what is this public speaking all about? Let us hear a conversation about what people think about it.
Have you tried public speaking before?
Oh, many times.
What's this public speaking?
Public speaking means speaking for the public.
Talking about their issues, right?
Absolutely.
What do you mean by public?
See, public can be anyone. Employees, friends, clients, even the common people who you're making your presentation for.
Oh, I see.
What matters a lot is the topic you relate them with.
Oh, that's it. If it is breakfast time, you should not try to serve supper dishes, right?
You have hit the nail.
Public speakers must talk about what the public wants to hear.
And that strikes the chord to make them successful public speakers.
It was nice talking to you.
Anytime, my pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Now let us look at the modules that we are going to discuss in this chapter and study them one by one.
Introduction of public speaking. Types of speech. Hidden causes of public speaking. Overcoming fears. Tips on public speaking. Taking questions. Visual aids. Other key considerations. Review. Introduction to public speaking.
Introduction to public speaking. We have split this chapter into 3 subtitles.
History of public speaking. Some famous leaders, orators. Popular topics.
The first known work on the subject, that is public speaking, was written 2500 years ago in ancient Greece. The common fear is called glossophobia, that is, stage fright. In public speaking, there are 5 basic elements, often expressed as who is saying what to whom, using what medium, and with what effects. Let us go ahead with the second subtitle, that is, some leaders or orators. Now that we know the origin of public speaking, let me show you some famous leader speeches.
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer. And false starts. There are many who won't agree with every decision or policy I make as president. And we know the government can't solve every problem. But I will always be honest with you about the challenges we face. I will listen to you, especially when we disagree. And above all, I will ask you to join in the work of remaking this nation the only way it's been done in America for 221 years. Block by block, brick by brick, calloused hand by calloused hand. What began 21 months ago in the depths of winter cannot end on this autumn night. This victory alone is not the change we seek. It is only the chance for us to make that change. And those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can. Thank you. God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.
I'm sure you like these public speakers. Isn't it true about this quotation?
To be a person is to have a story to tell. By Isaac Dynson.
You must have realized that good orators must be able to change the emotions of their listeners for the betterment of the nation, not just inform them. Let us find out whose favorite public speaker in the conversation that follows.
Hi again.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
So, who is your favorite speaker?
That's tough to answer.
I'm sure you have a favorite.
Well, my all-time favorite is Subhash Chandra Bose.
That's strange. What about Gandhi, Nehru, and Tagore?
To my mind, Subhash Chandra Bose spoke out his heart and mind without any fear.
Yes, that also helped the nation get freedom. True indeed. As it is, even I haven't heard any controversies about him either.
That's precisely what I like about him.
A fearless public speaker with a passion to awaken India.
I guess spontaneous speakers can become great public speakers.
Sure, the art of public speaking lies in speaking spontaneously.
What topic do you want to discuss now?
Hey, all set to become a public speaker, correct?
Do you doubt my ability?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay, chill. Let's have a break.
The most recent example that comes to mind is the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama. Now, he's the most admired speaker. Let us move to the third subtitle, Popular Topics.
Hi friends, I would be talking to you about movies and their impact on society. Films definitely have a great impact on society. It is the most interesting form of entertainment that helps us to reach out to the masses and to spread awareness. Being a favorite of the young generation, it definitely has the power to sway the youth of today. Being an advanced form of literature, it transforms the finer details of a story into a visual medium that appeals to our heart and senses. Films can have educative value, they can have social relevance. Now let us just discuss a few categories of cinema that filmmakers adhere to in today's world. First, of course, we have the masala movies or the commercial films that don't really have a subject to boast of. You go to the theatre, enjoy yourself, think about nothing, have your popcorn, share a laugh, and come back feeling refreshed. You can just face on the challenges of life anew with renewed vigor. They don't really have any subject to boast of, as I said. Now they can be mindless comedies, drama, conflicts, errors that usually get solved by the end of the story. Filmmakers like Priyadarshan and David Dhawan often make such movies. Then, of course, we have the literary films or the films inspired from literature. Films like Gajgamini or Meenakshi, A Tale of Cities, two cities. Now, what would you say about that? They don't really have a subject to boast of, They're just adaptations from literature. Now, the filmmaker himself has described his movie as a painting on a canvas. Seriously. Now, these films can have educative value, They are mostly translations of great texts of literature like Shakespearean tragedies or comedies. Then, of course, we have films that have social relevance. Madhur Bhandarkar's movies like Traffic Signal, Chandni Bar, Fashion, they have social relevance in the sense that they depict a serious problem of society. So you can call them satires, to speak of. So they depict certain problems and turmoils of society, or you can say certain strata of society that the other people are ignorant of. So what happens is, when you see this on screen before your eyes, you have a shock, you get a shock after that. So that is the kind of effect it has on you. Then of course, we can talk about the films bordering on violence or obscenity. Now these make for adult themes, adultery, infidelity, bomb blasts, rape and whatnot, Definitely they make for raunchy gossip, I understand that. But other than that, they may have a negative impact on the minds of people, especially the youngsters, because they are vulnerable to speak of. Now, whatever they see on screen, now if they end up translating that in their day-to-day life, you can just imagine, life just gets complicated after that. So, films can have both a negative and a positive impact on the minds of youngsters and people in general. So it just depends on how you as an individual react to what you're seeing on screen. That's about it. Thank you so much.
If you're looking for a popular public speaking topic for an upcoming speech, you can never go wrong if you talk about the latest topic. People generally feel comfortable with the hot topics. Let me highlight some of the popular public speaking topics for you.
Popular topics: climate change, global warming, gas prices, alternative fuels, politics, presidential campaign, obesity, Olympics, sex education, IPL or elections, global recession.
Remember, the public speaking topics list could go on and on forever. Giving a speech is all about the 3 mentioned points below.
Relating to the audience. Using appropriate language. Making points, arguments that are reasonable and have reliable sources to back them up.
That third point is an extremely important one. If you try to push your opinions on people without much evidence, they are bound to lose interest and respect in you immediately.
Bear in mind, people don't always behave nicely towards people that make unreasonable arguments or outlandish statements. Types of speech.
Types of speeches. Let us hear a quotation before we start this chapter.
They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. By Carl W. Buchner.
There are 3 kinds of speeches you're almost going to come across.
Informative, persuasive, and ceremonial.
Here's what each of these kinds of speeches is all about.
Informative. The purpose of an informative speech is to teach the audience a small but useful tidbit of information. If your speech is a success, the audience will walk away with some knowledge. Here are some tips to keep in mind for effective informative speaking.
Don't cram too much information in your speech, or you will lose your audience. Keep it simple. Be careful not to include information that your audience doesn't understand. If you do use unfamiliar terms, be sure to define them. Choose a topic that your audience will find interesting and relevant. Make sure your speech isn't persuasive. You're trying to teach your audience something, not change them. The importance of English language. Hello everybody. Nice to see all of you present here. Today, I'm going to share my views on the importance of English language. You know, English is one of the widely recognized languages in today's world. Now, why should we learn English? Well, there are several reasons why we should learn English. Let me cite a few of them to you. For instance, at school level, at college level, even at work level. Even if we talk about tourism, when we want to attract tourists to our country, we need to communicate in English. That is how we are going to talk about our culture, our heritage. Likewise, nowadays, the world of computers, the mix of Bollywood and Hollywood cinema has made it compulsory to learn this beautiful language. Finally, when we talk about learning the language, it is not difficult at all. In fact, it is very easy. One can learn it in 30 days with dedicated efforts. Let me make a contrast. When we talk about Hindi, our national language, there are so many ek ki matra, u ki matra, pehle aap, tum, tu, which is not at all there in English. In English, it is just one word, You, whether you are young or big, that's the plus point about this beautiful language. Hence, do not lose this opportunity in your lifetime to learn such a wonderful language which will help you in all ways and in all walks of life. Trust me, again, on this. Let us look at the second type of speech.
Persuasive. The purpose is to change people's minds or behavior about something. This is a very difficult thing to do. For a persuasive speech to be truly effective, it is not enough to simply present your arguments in an eloquent way. You need to actually get the audience to change their minds. Here are some tips for how to deliver a persuasive speech.
Deliver your speech with passion. No one is going to get convinced until you show you really care. Look for common ground with the people in the audience who disagree with you. By doing so, you reach out to the other people on the other side and demonstrate that you're not the enemy. Don't choose an impossible task. In such a short speech, you're not going to change anyone's mind about gun control. However, you might change their mindsets whether it is a smaller issue in the context of, is the weapon legal? Ask your audience to take a specific action, an action that they might really take. Do not ask them to call the elected officials. Instead, ask them to do gymming. Voting. Hi everybody. Are you excited to hear my speech? Well, I'm here to give my thoughts on voting, the word which you just don't like or don't want to do it. Voting. It is such a common word which we have heard since childhood. But have we ever bothered to go to the poll booth to vote? No, I don't think so. Why I think like that? Very simple. You know, after 60 years of independence, India still is famous for its poverty, which the slumdog millionaire has exposed it. You must be ashamed. Now, you must realize that voting is what will help have a new government which will think about the people, which is meant for the people, by the people and of the people. So friends, wake up! The elections are here. They're fast approaching. In the months of April and May 2009, you need to get up and vote because this nation requires people to fight against injustice, and that can be transparent if we vote for the right candidate, the right leader, which will lead us to being the superpower country just as London and not America. Friends, I know that you don't like voting. Neither do I. But let me cite a small example for you. Let us take this. You fall sick, you're not feeling well. What does your mama or your papa tell you? Beta, take a medicine. Do you like taking medicines? Not at all. But you need to take it so that you become cured, you become better to live the next day joyfully. Similarly, that's the way to progress in life. What you don't like, you have to do. There is no other option. So friends, get up. This is the best time and we need to use our voting rights. If you don't want any injustice, go ahead and vote. Thank you. Let us look at the third type of speech.
Ceremonial. It marks an important occasion in someone's life, such as a graduation speech, a wedding toast, or a eulogy at a funeral. These speeches can be both emotionally moving and fun. Here are some ceremonial speech tips.
Tell lots of stories about the person whom you're giving a speech about. Stories make the person you talk about come alive. For example, instead of saying she is a very thoughtful person, you can say she sends birthday and anniversary cards to everyone she knows. Avoid cliches. If you're giving a graduation speech, don't say spread your wings and fly. If you're giving a wedding toast, don't say today you marry your best friend. Instead, be original. Birthday anniversary. Welcome friends. A very warm welcome to all of you to my favorite uncle's birthday anniversary. He's celebrating the 50th year of his birthday. Indeed, it is one of my greatest happiness to talk to you about my favorite uncle, Mr. Pramod Karimchandani. You know, friends, sometimes I think, how do we really come across people in our lives? And certainly, when they are God-gifted, relatives are indeed God-gifted. And I'm very happy to talk to you about my favorite uncle. He is one of the best people I've ever known on this earth. Let me share some striking examples of his. Number 1, when we talk about anger. Indeed, do we really have the right reasons for the right people, the right time to get angry? Seldom do we. And whereas my uncle, even if it is the right reason for the right people, the right day, he just doesn't get angry. Take the most recent example, when the shop had to face a short circuit problem. He had a gross loss of almost 25 lakhs. But what did he do? Nothing at all. He didn't scream at even one single fellow, not even the security guard who were responsible for taking care of the shop. The shop was almost closed for 15 days. But he took it to his heart. He awaited that day when the shop would reopen, and the sun was again shown to him. The shop finally did reopen, and the customers greeted them. And one more thing. Let me take another example. He's a very charming husband, very loyal to his wife. It is all reflective. You know, people who are very good at heart, they look very beautiful. They look younger than their age. Let me take 2 concrete evidences for this. He recently got 2 marriage proposals. Can you imagine that? A man of 50 years of age getting 2 proposals? And that too, people thought he was not married. He was young. This is amazing. One from the matrimonial, and the other, a girl calls him up on the phone and invites him to her proposal. And of course, all he had to say was this: I'm a father of a college year boy. And trust me, so humbly did he speak those words, and no pride in them. He didn't tell me this fact. His wife told me. I was stunned, really stunned. And he takes care. He takes care of me as if I were his own daughter. I'm really fortunate to come across such an uncle. So ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this birthday bash. And don't forget, you need to be in his presence to really feel him, to know him, and to get close to him. My favorite uncle, Mr. Pramod Karimchandani. This is Kalpana Madhyani, waving out to you. Goodbye and have a beautiful day.
Hidden causes of public speaking stress.
Hidden causes of public speaking stress. We have divided this chapter into 3 subtitles.
The 11 causes of public speaking stress. Barriers to public speaking. Questions that come across our minds.
Now we will view the 11 causes, the first subtitle.
The 11 causes of public speaking stress. Thinking that public speaking is inherently stressful. It's not. Thinking you need to be brilliant or perfect to succeed. You don't. Trying to impart too much information or cover too many points in a short presentation. Having the wrong purpose in mind. To get rather than to give, contribute. Trying to please everyone. This is unrealistic. Trying to emulate other speakers, very difficult, rather than simply being you, very easy. Failing to be personally revealing and humble. Being fearful of potential negative outcomes. They almost never occur, and even when they do, you can use them to your advantage. Trying to control the wrong things. Example, the behavior of your audience. Spending too much time over-preparing, instead of developing confidence and trust in your natural ability to succeed. thinking your audience will be as critical of your performance as you might be. I do not much dislike the matter, but the manner of his speech. Antony and Cleopatra by William Shakespeare.
Let us view one skit between two people talking about nervousness.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty cool. What about you?
Pretty nervous about tomorrow's event.
Oh, are you anchoring a show?
Ah, yes. It's the first time I'm going to perform on stage.
Chill. You must relax before the big event.
That's true, but I'm very anxious.
You can rehearse it in front of the mirror if you want.
That's a great idea.
Cool. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
Well, that was a brilliant way to handle the stress in the above skit. Now, let us move to the second subtitle, that is, Barriers to Public Speaking. Perhaps there are a lot of barriers to speaking, such as
Barriers to public speaking. You stammer or hesitate while you speak.
Well, I will show you an example.
Let me tell you a little bit about Formula One racing. There are 10 teams and each team has 2 cars. So, sorry, we'll continue tomorrow, okay? Yeah, thank you.
Lack of knowledge of the subject.
Another barrier is lack of knowledge of the subject. I will show you another skit on the same.
Talking about the drivers, Michael Schumacher has been driving for McLaren for many years. And yeah, in fact, in 2008, he won the Grand Prix. It was the first Grand Prix in India. In India, yeah.
Following are the other barriers, just as
You think a lot about what the public thinks. You feel it as a do-or-die situation. You lay overemphasis on dressing in lieu you forget your speech.
let us watch another skit where you lay overemphasis on dressing and in lieu you forget the speech.
I know you want to go to office like your mom and dad, but of course you won't be allowed to do so. But at least we can get dressed well. We can dressed well and prepare ourselves. Okay. Now I know you're getting bored. You've studied a lot and now it's time for some play. No, it's not time for some. Now it's playtime. Sorry.
Likewise, the other barriers are
Your previous misconceptions from people around you, just as you require talent, and natural speakers are the best speakers. You have not carried your notes, slides properly.
let us get going with another skit on the use of slides.
Now this is a slide where you can see where all over the world Formula One races are held.
Let us again view another skit on the last barrier for this topic, that is, last moment practice.
Last moment practice.
If I say the names Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, Damien Hill, then what sport comes to your mind? That's right, Formula One racing.
Well, you must have observed that the so-called above barriers or obstacles are mainly due to lack of self-belief and self-confidence. Always remember this quotation.
If you don't speak up, You'll be spoken of. By Kalpana Madhyani.
Unless we speak up for ourselves in front of our near and dear ones, we'll not be able to overcome stage fear. The best way to get used to public speaking is to speak loudly with whomever we talk. For example, salesman, mother, father, relatives, friends, security guard, and etc. Let us go to the last leg of this chapter. That is, questions that come across our minds.
What if I pass out from nervous exhaustion? What if I forget everything I intended to say and am left standing there totally speechless? What if the audience hates me and begins throwing things at me? What if they all get up and leave after the first 10 minutes? What if they snipe at me with harsh questions or comments once I'm done? What if someone in the audience tries to turn the group against me?
The above situations could be embarrassing if they happened, but most of them don't. Even if they occur, you can follow this golden rule.
Everything that happens can be used to your advantage.
If people get up and start to head for the door, you can stop what you're doing and ask for a feedback by asking these questions.
Was my topic, my style, or my manner of presentation offensive? Were you simply in the wrong room at the start and didn't know it? Did someone misinform you about what my talk was going to cover?
Regardless of what they tell you with respect to the above situations, it will also give you the wonderful opportunity to learn how you're affecting people so that you make the necessary corrections.
Overcoming fears.
Overcoming fears. We have split this chapter into 4 points.
Preparation of speech. Selection of topic. Collection of information. Style and humor.
Let us begin this chapter with the first point, and that is preparation of speech.
Preparation of speech.
The first and foremost step to overcome the public fear is to believe in oneself. Remember, when you start to prepare a speech, you should keep in mind a lot of factors, namely,
The type of audience. The duration of the speech. The contents of the speech. The aids to help deliver the speech, such as projectors, leaflets, notebooks, etc. The use of words in a simple and easy manner so that it can be easily understood. The outline of the speech.
besides, when one has prepared an outline of the speech, it is always advisable to take the opinion of your teacher, your friend, and make the necessary corrections. Keep in mind, your rehearsals at home can give you several chances, but the audience will not give you a second chance. If this happens, you need to look for a new audience. We can summarize this point in the simple quotation.
It takes 1 hour of preparation for each minute of presentation time. By Wayne Burgraff.
Let us go to the second point, that is selection of topic.
Selection of topic.
A good public speaker must consider the pros and cons of the topic and make sure that his point of view does not end with any prejudice. Let us have a look at the skit below to simplify the second point.
Hello, how's life?
Rocking!
And what makes you say that?
Well, I had to make a presentation at work yesterday.
Yes, I'm listening. Please continue.
I chose the topic Global Recession.
Then the experience must have been brilliant, right?
Indeed, the audience enjoyed it very much.
Oh, that's the way to go. That's the right topic at the right time.
I studied the spectators' issue and how to tackle them too.
So, did you also give them some tips to overcome this economic slowdown?
Undoubtedly, yes. They left the hall with a ray of optimism and hope.
Congratulations!
Thanks a lot.
Oh, mention not.
Let us go ahead with the third point, that is collection of information.
Collection of information.
We are fairly certain that knowledge is available at the tip of fingers. Knowledge is available everywhere in the form of books, magazines, periodicals, internet, and so forth. But have you ever thought that too much information can confuse you? It is very essential that you obtain information from well-known resources with genuine authenticity. Hence, you must make it a point to have the right statistics to talk about figures. Do follow this quotation.
Speak clearly if you speak at all. Carve every word before you let it fall. By Oliver Wendell Holmes.
Let us go to the last point, and that is style and humor.
Style and humor.
Sometimes one wonders the significance of style come humor. Think about it. If there was no humor, it would be so boring. Thus, we're trying to improve our humor in every walk of life. And the art of public speaking is no different. However, when we talk about humor, we should make it a point that it doesn't hurt anyone. Do keep in mind these 3 points.
Humor is very important because it makes you feel vibrant if you are sleepy. It makes you creative in making others laugh. The audience is absolutely awake and listening to you with rapt attention.
In fact, when you're humorous and the public doesn't respond to you, then be sure they find your talk dull and ineffective. Style is what you identify yourself with. It can be your dress, your voice, or your body language. Let us view a skit on the same.
Hi friends, if I say the names Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Ayrton Senna, Damon Hill, then what sport comes to your mind? That's right, Formula One racing. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. Formula One racing is the topmost motor car racing championship in the world. Even though people have been racing cars ever since their invention, Formula One racing started in 1950. The first race was held on 13th May 1950 at the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain. In its current format, Formula One racing season starts in March and ends in October. There are 17 races held all over the world on every alternate Sunday. The venues range from Australia, America, Germany, France, Spain, China, and so on. The format is such that on Friday is a practice day, so the drivers can drive around the track. On Saturday, the drivers qualify for the race, so that basically the driver with the fastest race time gets to start at the front of the race grid. On Sunday is the actual race. There are 10 teams of 2 drivers each. That means there are 20 drivers in the race. The format for scoring is such that the top 8 finishing drivers get points. At the end of the racing season, the driver with the maximum number of points is crowned the champion. In 2007, Kimi Raikkonen for Ferrari was the champion, while in 2008, Lewis Hamilton of the McLaren team was crowned champion. Formula One is such a competitive sport that in 2008, Lewis Hamilton beat his closest rival by a single point. Little bit about the car. Well, over the years, a lot of improvement has been done with regards to safety, reliability, and the speed. Talking about safety, there has been no fatality in Formula One since 1994. That shows you how well the risks are handled and the commitment towards safety. About the car, well, Formula One cars can go from 0 to 160 kilometers per hour and back to 0 in under 5 seconds. Compare that to your normal car that goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 14 to 16 seconds, and you realize how fast these cars are. Formula One cars have 2.4-liter V8 engines that give out 700 to 780 horsepower and have a top level of 18,000 revolutions per minute. All said and done, making a Formula One car is extremely a tough job. Did you know that every Formula One car has approximately 80,000 parts? That means even with an efficiency of 99.9%, there are 80 parts that still are not functioning correctly. That, my friends, is the wonder that is the Formula One car. Since 2008, there has been an Indian team on the Formula One grid. That's right, Vijay Mallya's Force India team is now racing in Formula One. Well, I hope I've been able to interest you in Formula One. So, when will I be seeing you on the grid? Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Tips on good public speaking.
Tips on good public speaking. We have divided this chapter into 6 points.
Importance of good memory. Setting the stage. Knowing your audience. Personal presence and impression. Practice and rehearsal of delivery. Some more guidelines.
The first point is importance of good memory.
Importance of good memory.
It is important to have a good memory, at least in the case of public speaking, as one has to stick to the topic. At times, one goes into the depth of the topic, and this should be avoided. In case of public speaking, one should practice enough, as each and every word spoken matters. People try to find faults and try to use it to their advantage. This shouldn't happen. Another advantage of good memory is that the audience shows keen interest in your topic, as your flow of communication is at a quick and steady pace. Let us again view a skit on the same.
The Formula One cars run on a 2.4-liter V8 engine. These engines give out between 700 to 780 horsepower. The cars have a top speed of 350 kilometers per hour. The engines have a top level of 18,000 revolutions per minute. These cars can go from 0 to 160 kilometers per hour and back to 0 in 5 seconds. Considering this, the average car can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 14 to 16 seconds. Each Formula One car has 80,000 parts in it.
The second point is setting the stage.
Setting the stage.
The podium or stage are of central importance when one talks about public speaking. The most striking aspect that comes to mind is the use of microphone, speakers, so that there is audibility and everyone gets the message clearly. All equipments that are to be used must be checked well in advance, at least 2 hours prior to the show. Alternatively, there must be a backup. In case there is emergency such as power cut, there should be a spare room or a generator.
knowing your audience.
The third point is knowing your audience. Audiences are like flowers in the garden. Indeed, you're always on the lookout for flowers when you visit a garden. Knowing your audience is of paramount importance. Following are the crucial aspects which you should keep in mind.
You should be able to know the age bar, the occupation, and sex ratio. Timing of the day, date and time you want to address them on, as professionals are bound to feel exhausted at the end of the day. What kind of speeches are they comfortable with? Do they prefer long, medium, or short speeches? Do they want a monologue or interactive session with questions and answers? What language and visual aids are they comfortable with? Are they attending your speech willingly or enforced by the organization?
Always have this quotation in mind while you face the audience.
Let's have a big round of claps for the audience, please. If it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be any public speakers. By Kalpana Madhyani.
The fourth point is personal presence and impression.
Personal presence and impression.
It is time to stop hiding behind the mask when you're present. Instead, think of public speaking as an exploration of your personal boundaries and limits and an opportunity to be yourself. Of course, the audience notices you from top to bottom before you start your speech. Your attire speaks a lot about you and creates the first impression. Plainly speaking, you should smell fragrant too, as some people might approach you. The fifth point is practice and rehearsal of delivery.
Practice and rehearsal of delivery.
Feeling some nervousness before giving a speech is natural and healthy. It shows that you care about doing well. But too much nervousness can be harmful. Here is how you can avoid it and make effective presentations.
Know the room. Be familiar with the place in which you will speak. Arrive early. Walk around the speaking area and practice using the microphone and any visual aids. Know your material. If you're not familiar with your material or are uncomfortable with it, your nervousness will increase. Practice your speech and revise it if necessary. Relax. Ease tension by doing exercises. Visualize yourself giving your speech. Imagine yourself speaking, your voice loud, clear, and assured. When you visualize yourself as successful, you will be successful. Realize that people want you to succeed. Audiences want you to be interesting, stimulating, informative, and entertaining. They don't want you to fail. Concentrate on the message, not the medium. Focus your attention away from your own anxieties and outwardly toward your message and your audience. Your nervousness will dissipate. Turn nervousness into positive energy. Harness your nervous energy and transform it into vitality and enthusiasm.
Let us view a public speaker enacting the above qualities.
Hi friends, my name is Karthik Shetty and I am here to talk about a very simple term which is called feel good. I guess we all know the meaning of the word feel good, right? It means feeling good. But the question is, do we really feel good about ourselves? Maybe, maybe not. So here I am to talk about something and to share my experiences so that you can better your tomorrow with a smile on your face and with a good feeling in your heart. You know, I used to live a very routine life. I used to get up in the morning, brush my teeth, have my breakfast, take bath of course, and go to the office, come back, have my dinner and go off to sleep. I had these responsibilities and duties like any average guy. But while tending to all these chores, I realized that, I'm doing my regular duty, but I'm not really happy. You know, it's just like a responsibility which I'm supposed to do it and I'm doing it. But I'm not really happy. The last time I was very happy, that was in HSC. When I saw the results in my hand, I couldn't stop my emotions. Seriously. And when I showed my result to my dad, that was even better. So now, the whole situation has changed. I'm not really happy now. As in, I'm doing my responsibility and my work, and I'm, trying to meet deadlines and schedules, but I'm not really happy. So one day, I was going to my office. I was standing on the station, and one of the beggars just passed by. As usual, I always ignored him. That day I ignored him. But the same situation arose in the evening. I was standing in the station when I was coming back home, and another beggar came in front of me. But this time, I removed a penny and I gave it to him. And the minute I gave it to him, I don't know why, but strangely, I felt nice about it. It's like I did something from my heart. I felt nice about it. Similarly, the other day, I was passing on the road and I helped a blind man cross the road. So those are the genuine feelings that made me do it. And it made me feel good about it. And that's what counts more. And that is which was lost. So the moral of the story, what I'm trying to tell you is that we need to be happy more. We need to relax. We need to look at small things in life which makes us feel good. Like an odd smile to a person who doesn't know us, but he gives us a genuine smile. But when you look at him, you also feel like smiling because you don't know him, but still you smile. And when you help out somebody, we do feel good. And that's a fact. Whenever you help out somebody, or when somebody is in need and you just, you're at the right time at the right place, you really feel good helping him out. You really feel nice from your heart. And that is what is important, and that is what I am here to tell you about. I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say. Because once you incorporate these things in your life is definitely going to change for sure. One thing's for sure, you'll be smiling a lot, and definitely you'll be feeling good a lot.
Let us go to the last point, that is, some more guidelines.
Some more guidelines. Your audience is there to hear your message. Relax and deliver that message instead of focusing on yourself. Take your time. Don't read your speech word for word and don't rush through it. Be conversational, as if you were talking with a group of friends. Don't stand up there like a stick, clenching the podium at both sides. Be natural and animated. Use hand gestures, drink water, move around a little. But don't rock back and forth. That conveys nervousness. Keep the speech short and simple. Make eye contact with the audience. Connect with them. Get them to nod their heads to acknowledge what you're saying. Make them pay attention to you. Practice your speech ahead of time. Take time to pause in the right places to make eye contact and catch your breath. Don't get into a debate if someone disagrees. Talk with him or her after your speech. Taking questions.
Generally speaking, while you deliver your speech, some people choose to interrupt you with a question. In such cases, it is polite to answer the question if it doesn't lead you off track.
There are 10 teams and each team has two... Sorry? I'll get back to you in a bit, yeah? Getting back to the topic, yes, there are 10 teams and each team has 2 racers.
However, it is advisable that you make it clear at the beginning about the timing of your question and answers round. You can do this by distributing a leaflet which contains the contents you would like to cover in a sequence so that the people are aware of the refreshment breaks as well.
Thank you for listening. Any questions? Yes? Yeah, as I mentioned in my speech, India already has a team on the Formula One grid with Vijay Mallya's Force India team. Now, with regards to drivers, Narayan Karthikeyan did have a short stint on the Jordan team on Formula One. And finally, talking about races, well, India as yet does not hold a Formula One race, but you can keep your fingers crossed.
Visual aids. Don't make visual aids visual distractions. Do keep these factors in mind prior to presentations. Make sure the plug reaches the socket. It is a good idea to carry an extension cord. Put the projector at a height that is comfortable for you. Make sure the lens is dust-free. Put the projector on a vibration-free base. Arrange the electric cord so no one will trip over it. Focus and center the picture on the screen beforehand. Number your transparencies in accordance with your facilitator's guide. Never assume projectors will work. Have a backup strategy ready. While making presentations, keep these points in mind. Keep the screen above the heads of the participants. Keep the screen in full view of participants. Make sure you are not blocking anyone's view when presenting. Darken the room appropriately by blocking out sunshine and dimming nearby lights. Turn the screen off between slides if you're going to talk for more than 2 minutes. No one should be farther from the screen than 6 times the width of the image. Talk to the audience, not to the screen. Use a pointer to emphasize points. Don't use it as a crutch and don't wave it widely. Keep these 2 points in mind before presentations. Check the height of the easel. Make sure you have plenty of paper. Tips during presentations. Title each page with a short topic or heading. Print the large block letters more than 1 inch high, larger if the room is deeper than 30 feet. Printing should be neat and legible. Use different colors for page headings and primary points. The color red should be used only for emphasis. Do not use pastel colors. Black, blue, dark green and brown are acceptable. Put marker down when you are not using it. Don't talk to the board while writing on it. Do not write more than 10 lines on a page. Do not fill the page to the bottom. People in the back will be unable to see. Respond to and note input from participants. Post important papers on the wall with masking tape or pins. Do not write on the papers after posting on the wall. The pen may bleed. Highlight key points. Respond to and highlight input from participants. Allow time for reading, retention, and note-taking. Use the matador tier, a sharp tug at the corner, not straight down. You can also make use of other suggestions such as, for complex pages, prepare a head in light pencil and then trace with a marker. If you travel with prepared pages, roll them up and carry them in a mailing tube. Sometimes you might use 2 easels, one already prepared and one for extemporaneous use. Before you start your videotape presentation, follow these steps. Be sure the videotape is rewound and at the starting point. Check to make sure the playback machine and the monitor are playing properly. Check audio level and contrast. Lights should be dimmed but not turned off. And of course, while making the presentation, these key points. Explain what the purpose of the tape is before playing it. Show interest in the tape and watch it enthusiastically. Summarize the main points after you have shown the tape. Bear in mind these points before audio tape presentation. Be sure the tape is rewound and at its starting point. Adjust the volume so all participants can hear. Use a high-quality recorder to prevent distortion. If the recorder is portable, position it at table level of the participants. Explain the purpose of the tape and identify the speaker before playing. Always carry a backup tape. Use of books. If you are using training manuals, make sure each student has one. Make sure you have a few extra books with you in case extra students arrive. Make sure you frequently reference page numbers with your audience so they know where you are in the book. Use of handouts. For visual variety, provide handouts on yellow, light blue paper. Distribute the handouts just prior to discussing the topics. Have extra handouts for unexpected participants. Do use a microphone in situations such as in a set-piece occasion when everyone else is using one, in extremely large spaces or lecture theatres, if you have to deliver a prolonged period of uninterrupted speech in a large space, outdoors in front of a large crowd, if there is a lot of background noise. The most popular types of microphones are static, fixed on a stand, clip microphones, clipped to an item of clothing, usually around the upper chest area, radio microphones. These allow the speaker to move around relatively freely whilst speaking, although they may need to be held by the speaker. Some tips on the use of static microphones. Position the microphone as close to the sound source as possible. Position yourself about 6 inches away from the microphone head. If you wish to increase the bass enhancement, get a little closer. Do not touch the head of the microphone. Make sure that the microphone stand is at the right height for you. If it is not, adjust it before you start to speak, preferably with the microphone turned off. Before you start speaking, check for the switch on the microphone. If there is, ensure it is in the on position. Other key considerations.
Other key considerations. We have separated this topic into 5 sections.
Factors affecting your voice. What makes an effective voice? How the voice complements the communication process. Your posture is crucial. Variety in speech.
Let us begin with the first section, which is factors affecting your voice.
Factors affecting your voice.
A lot of factors can affect your voice, and certain measures have to be taken for the same. For instance,
if you are delivering a talk in a large area, use a microphone if you can. Stand up so that everyone notices you. Request the audience to fill up the front spaces initially. Breath control, clarity, and posture are crucial. Drink warm instead of cold water a few days before your speech.
let us move to the second point, that is, What makes an effective voice?
What makes an effective voice?
An effective voice is a mixture of vitality, audibility, and clarity.
Vitality. The technical terms for this includes modulation and prosody. In other words, read loudly, approximately 15 words per minute, at a stretch for 30 minutes at least to check the energy level of your voice till the end. Audibility. A combination of an appropriate level of volume and the skills of projection. Put simply, the audience should be able to hear you without much effort. Clarity. Producing a vital audible sound which is distinct and clear, not muffled. Plainly speaking, don't eat your words. Don't speak too fast or too slow.
Let us move to the third section, that is, how the voice complements the communication process.
How the voice complements the communication process.
Let us think about a person whom you have never met but regularly talked on the phone or via mail. Indeed, in this fast-paced world, we face such communication, for example, business deals and even choosing life partners. The voice is what takes you everywhere, so watch out how you communicate. Speak less if you want to, but speak the right stuff. Now we will move to the fourth section, that is, your posture is crucial.
Your posture is crucial.
Why is the posture so crucial? If you position yourself correctly, you'll find it easy to breathe and feel confident. I will share some tips with you for perfect posture.
Keep feet a little apart and in contact with the floor. Distribute weight evenly. Don't stand with legs crossed, even if behind a lectern. Keep knees slightly bent to avoid backache and reduce anxiety. Stand erect. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. Face the audience when you speak. Watch your shoulders. Don't carry too much tension.
Here are two frequently asked questions.
Frequently asked questions. How can I keep my head up if I need to refer to the notes? You can refer to notes. When you drop your head to refresh your memory, simply stop speaking. When you are ready, bring up your head and eyes and resume, but make sure you take a few seconds, not more. What if I need to turn around to look at the projector screen or to write on the board or flip chart? No problem. Again, turn and look, but stop speaking. If you are writing on the flip chart, chalkboard or whiteboard, remember the touch, turn and talk principle.
If I say the names Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, Damien Hill, then what sport comes to your mind? That's right, Formula One racing. The Formula One racing season starts in March every year and runs up till October. There are 17 races which are held in countries all around the world. Now here is a slide where we can see where all over the world Formula One races are held.
Now we have the last section of this chapter, that is, variety in speech.
Variety in speech.
Let us start with a quotation related to the topic.
The most precious things in speech are the pauses. By Sir Ralph Richardson. Your audience, students, may lose interest if you sound cliched. You will not sound dedicated if you speak monotonously.
A voice with variety contains a composition of the following ingredients:
pitch, appropriate pace, pause, volume, word emphasis.
The first type is pitch, variety in notes and intonation, the rise and fall of the voice.
Pitch. Pitch is the note or notes which we use when we speak. The human speaking voice has a range of between 5 to 8 available notes. Some people strike a note and do not move from that note, which results in monotonous speech. Therefore, avoid that and be comfortable with switching from one topic to another to avoid boredom.
Pitch also indicates mood. Let us say an example.
A sustained period of speech in a high pitch can indicate sarcasm, tension. A sustained period of speech in a lower pitch indicates seriousness.
Note how newsreaders will use a higher pitch for more humorous stories and lower pitch for more serious stories. The second type is appropriate pace, the speed at which we speak.
Appropriate pace. You should keep pace so that the audience can reflect on your speech and exhibit more interest in you.
The third type is pause. Pauses break up our speech and help us breathe comfortably.
Pause. Pauses break up our speech and help us breathe comfortably. Of course, without a pause, you will not only make your audience restless, but also leave yourself gasping for breath. Thus, you must read aloud any newspaper, magazine, perhaps your article, and follow the punctuations with due concentration. This will enable you to convey your viewpoints perfectly.
Please ponder over the quotation that follows.
The most precious things in speech are the pauses, by Sir Ralph Richardson.
The fourth type is volume. Various forms of volume level help us to charge the atmosphere. You need to address your audience by adjusting your volume level according to the intensity of the article and share some light jokes in the middle of the speech. And the fifth type is word emphasis, stressing words that you want to highlight. Let us summarize this in the form of the following quotation.
Mere words are cheap and plenty enough, but ideas that rouse and set multitudes thinking come as gold from the mines. By A. Owen.
Remember, it is quite natural to feel a little self-conscious when you're trying out these new approaches. However, please follow these elements one at a time.
Hello everybody. Today we are going to see advantages and disadvantages of the credit card. Let me share my experience with you. Few months back, I went to a shop to buy a new mixer grinder. It was very expensive, and since I had a shortfall of money, I couldn't buy it. And at the moment I thought, I wish I had a credit card. After this incident, I applied for a credit card, and within few days I got one, and I was really happy. Some days after, I saw pretty diamond earrings in a jewelry shop. I inquired the price. It was really expensive. So I decided to buy it by charging my credit card. I did so, and I was really happy that this credit card is really helpful when I do not have sufficient cash with me. But a month later, I received a statement of my transactions on my credit card, and I was really shocked because I have done so much of shopping. I didn't even notice that I cannot clear this outstanding. I was wondering how can I pay this balance? But the credit card company gave me an option to pay the outstanding balance in installments with interest charged. I had no option. I accepted. But the interest rate was so high that I ended up paying triple the amount of the original balance. It was really irritating, but I was really helpless. I decided not to use the credit card again. But few days later, I started receiving email alerts, SMS alerts, and also phone calls from a credit card company just to remind that I have a balance due and I have to pay it within a time limit. And it was really irritating to receive such phone calls in front of my friends and family or in office. I said I will return this credit card to the credit card company. The day I decided to return this credit card to the credit card company, I received a wedding invitation of my friend who lives in Delhi. Since the wedding was in the next week, I decided to buy online ticket just to save time. So this time also I had to charge my credit card. Now I was aware of the consequences of making huge outstanding on my credit card. So somehow or the other, within few months, I paid the entire outstanding. And I decided just to keep the credit card and use only if it is really necessary. Few months after that, I was opting a home loan and I was informed by my banker that I should have at least one credit card to get the loan sanctioned. As I have one, my loan was sanctioned. So you see, every coin has two sides. It is tempting to buy things with credit card, but you should always consider credit card as your emergency cover. The credit card company is always there to help you when you need money, but you should be a good user and pay each and every rupee back. Just think how you will feel if you lend someone money and he will not return it back.
Review.
Review. Let us see the 10 points in the review chapter.
Speaking in public is not inherently stressful. You don't have to be brilliant or perfect to succeed. All you need is 2 or 3 main points. You also need a purpose that is right for the task. The best way to succeed is not to consider yourself a public speaker. Humility and humor can go a long way. When you speak in public, nothing bad can ever happen. You don't have to control the behavior of your audience. In general, the more you prepare, the worse you will do. Your audience truly wants you to succeed. Keep in mind, public speaking is definitely an art to improve on. It takes time, however, it will not take your lifetime. By Kalpana Madhyani.
I personally think people who are famous at public speaking are the ones who have connected with their emotions and sought change in the world. As a matter of fact, opinions are neither right nor wrong. They're feelings to be appreciated and lived for unconditionally. In conclusion, study this DVD and follow the instructions thoroughly, and surely you'll be the winner and the best among the rest. Wish you great luck and have a bright time.